Well, I would be honored to do a Zoom meeting for them and just kind of tell them my story. I'm happy to open up my back office. Sometimes actually seeing the numbers is very different than hearing the numbers. So whatever I can do to serve you and help you, like I said, my full-time job is to help my organization grow and prosper. So I spend most of my days doing those kind of calls, those kind of 3 ways. So whatever I can do to help you with that. I will tell you, I've been recruiting realtors for over 20 years. It has been easier over the past 3 months than at any point in my entire career. I got a text message at 9:45 2 days ago from the second person I called about eXp. And it has been no, heck no, no way on God's green earth, not under any circumstances, never going to happen, to don't get too excited. But so the truth of the matter is, I love what Glenn says about how it's financially irresponsible to be with any other real estate company. And those of us that have been around for any length of time know that that's true. And the analogy that I use all the time is that, if you decided today, instead of selling real estate, you wanted to drive strangers around in your car, would you go to work for Yellow Cab, or would you go to work for Uber and Lyft? And I've asked that question 1,000 times, and I always get the exact same answer. There's simply no other alternative for real estate agents right now that I know of than eXp Realty.
All right, fires me up. I don't know about you guys, but I want to give these VIPs the proper introduction. So Tracy Lewis called me 3 years ago. Tracy, I made this today the exact day for you to come on for a reason. It was exactly 3 years ago today when I woke up, went and drove 2.5 hours to meet with Jason Guessing, invested about an hour and 10 minutes with Jason, and then we shook hands and I gave him my word that I'm going to join. And that was after 3 days and 2 sleepless nights, December 17th, 2017. So today is my 3rd anniversary. This also marks I am fully vested after 3 years, baby.
What that means for me is that your stock vesting hits. The only person that I got paid the full 1,000 shares, because when I started with eXp, you got 1,000 shares per agent, was Pat Hayes. That one recruit, Pat Hayes, just the stock alone, we know what the stock's at today.
Oh my goodness, $72 yesterday, yeah.
$72,000.
Yeah.
So
Tracy called me, right? And after the second no, you guys have, most of you have heard the story. After I said no to Tracy a couple of times, and we really didn't know each other at all, right? And she asked me, before you say no, do you know what you're saying no to? And these are the same questions that we've been teaching you guys, right? And she stayed persistent. So Tracy owned the largest Century 21 office in North America. At one point in time, she and Scott Lewis moved over to Keller Williams. In short order, they became the Keller Williams #1 recruiter. I'm going to sort of have her share her story and then get into teaching you guys how she built her organization from the beginning of time up to the 500 agent mark. That's the focus today. What were the things that these agents need to know to get there? Second on the call is our Chris Bear. Chris Bear is the Vice President of United States Exponential Growth at eXp Realty. All right, next up is Sam Rodriguez. He's standing in queue right now. And we're going to talk about the same thing, right? We're going to get tips from Chris Bear, who just crushes it. Every time I reach out to either Tracy or Chris, they are there to support us. Tracy, a little bit of your story. I'll start with ladies first.
Well, thank you so much for that beautiful introduction, Tom. I really appreciate it. I came from a teaching background, got into real estate when my first real estate agent, when I bought my house, was a complete nincompoop. And she made more on that one sale than I made in a month. I stumbled upon a Tony Robbins book called Awaken the Giant Within, and within 3 days quit my teaching job and started real estate classes. So I will tell you the power of personal development, everything that I have been able to accomplish. My Baylor education cost me about $20,000. That's because I was a full scholarship kid. And it made me $20,000 a year. The $14 that I spent on that Tony Robbins book made me a millionaire. I've spent probably close to $250,000 on personal development over the past 20 years. It's made me wealthy, and completely and totally I've got money and time freedom. So I can't stress the importance of that enough. When I saw eXp, I had been Recruiter of the Year globally for Keller Williams, and had recruited 50 people into that organization. And over 3 years, that 50, I think it was 52 people, that 52 people blossomed into 58 agents in 3 years. My skill set didn't change when I joined eXp. It's just eXp is an easier sale. It really is that simple. The scripts only changed a few words, but there's a reason that new and improved is on almost every product in your household, because it's easier to sell new, it's easier to sell improved. Agents right now are starving. As I'm sure Tom will agree, that the objection that I heard the most in the first 4 years I was with eXp, if an agent come over, it was, well, I really enjoy going into the office, or I need an office to work. That was the objection that I heard the most. And I have a slew of ways to overcome that objection. Guess what? That objection doesn't exist anymore. Agents have to have a compelling reason not to join eXp. And when you can show them how they'll make more money in their real estate business, they'll keep more money. And as far as I know, it is the only pathway to residual income and being able to get off that hamster wheel. I simply don't know another method. The way that I'm able to live, I work for all intents and purposes about 10 or 15 hours a week. We moved to beautiful Hammock Beach, Florida. It's the only golf slash beach slash country club slash resort community in all of Florida. And the motto is vacation more, travel less. And that really is the lifestyle that we've been able to adopt. And the only way that we've been able to do that is through the time and money freedom that eXp offers. Everybody's always looking for something sexier than what I'm about to say. I am too. So if you find it, please call me. What has worked best for me to recruit real estate agents over the past 20 years? Number one, picking up the phone and having a scripted reason to call a real estate agent. And I will tell you, still to this day, I pull up scripts. If I'm going to talk to a top producing agent, I write out a script for that agent. I think out exactly what I'm going to say before I get in those calls. And that's the great thing about Team Disruptor, is that there are so many scripts that are ready for you guys to use. They are laced with NLP and they are time tested. If you'll use those scripts, I just believe with all my heart and soul, you're going to have spectacular results. So by far, the number one thing that has worked the best is picking up the phone and calling people. The number two thing is sending targeted text messages to specific people, one-on-one, not a generic, hey, the real estate market is real interesting right now. Have you seen our stock? That doesn't work. Targeted, personalized messages that attract a specific kind of real estate agent, and then targeted messages through social media, one-on-one messages to people that I have relationships with or that I have at least have some sort of a connection to, and those messages are thought out. Very simply, that is what has worked the best for me. It has been able to set me financially free in a very, very short period of time and live a life of time and money freedom. So that is my Reader's Digest story.
Man, that was a lot. Tracy, you said something laced with NLP. Explain further for those who don't understand. I know you're big into this. You and I, what you guys don't know is in the beginning, I'm saying at least the first year, I'm on the phone with Tracy and Scott. I'm not kidding you, at least once a day, multiple times a day for a whole year. All right. Because, and Tracy's thing, and it never changed, was, Tom, my style is it's scripted. My style is, you say as few words as you need to say, but those words are impactful, they're powerful, they have meaning to that individual.
It's been my experience that when I write out a script before I pick up the telephone to call somebody, that I'm able to deliver my message powerfully and right away. Don't you agree?
Yep. Okay. That's right. You just did. She just did it to me.
I just NLP the heck out of it. Don't you agree?
What does NLP stand for?
Oh, great question. Neuro-linguistic programming. The person that made it famous is Tony Robbins, but I've actually got my NLP certification. It's one of the best investments that I've ever made. So if you're interested in personal development, what I tell people all the time is the first thing that you should do is go to Unleash the Power Within with Tony Robbins. Go to some of his stuff. There's some great, now of course you can do it virtually, so you can do it from the comfort of your living room. I can get you radically better prices than you can get anywhere on earth because I'm one of Tony Robbins' platinum partners. But Tony Robbins, the way that he really started his career is he mastered neuro-linguistic programming, which is a way of using your body and using your words in a way that forces people to listen to you much more effectively than any other way out there. And it's very brilliant. You can Google NLP, you can read a couple of things online and really get some great topics for absolutely free. You can do Google searches, you can do YouTube searches, you can learn a lot of NLP without doing anything other than, firing up your computer. Scripts that we have in Team Disruptors, the ones that I have developed, they are run through NLP 9 ways to Sunday. So sometimes people will say, well, I don't really like how that script is worded. Well, I don't care if you like it or not. It's effective. So you can do it your way, or you can be successful by using my words and cut the learning curve by 15 years. The other thing I hear people say a lot is, well, I took your script, but it didn't really sound like me, so I made some changes. Permission to speak freely. It's not supposed to sound like you. It's supposed to it's supposed to sound
You're
like
where you are today because what you've been saying,
right.
me included, just so you know, I'm pointing at me.
Thank you, Tom. That's a huge compliment coming from somebody like you. But it is meant to sound like somebody that is earning over $1 million a year in residual income without having to leave my house. I mean, seriously, that money is coming in, good Lord willing, and we all know that our leadership is spectacular and they are doing the right things to keep this ship growing and exploding. We have the best leadership in the industry from Glenn Sanford on down. I mean, tremendous respect for these guys. So if you don't like the scripts, good luck. And if you find a script that works better, by all means, pick up the phone, call me. I have zero ego wrapped up in any of this. To me, all of this is about what works, what is successful, what will get people's attentions. So whatever I can do to help you and support you. But I will tell you 99 times out of 100, I'm going to tell you, go to the scripts that are in Team Disruptor. They are there because they convert. And they get the message across quickly and easily. So,
awesome, man, that was so powerful. That was impactful. That was enough information for me to run for the next 20 hours, just that alone.